Hi, welcome to this video about the Azure Remote Rendering Asset tool called ARRT, art with two R's. This is a brand new tool. I would call it an authoring tool or manipulation tool for your remotely rendered models. And that's a pretty cool one because it allows you to basically upload, convert, and then change materials on your converted models. As you might know, Azure Remote Rendering uses a proprietary format for rendering remotely, so you need to convert your input models. And that tool allows you to do that with a nice UI. Before that, you could use some scripts, some PowerShell scripts with some manual configuration and so on. So it's great to see this kind of front-end tool for it, which allows us and goes actually way beyond these scripts, right? And so in this video, I'm going to show you how you can install that, how you can configure it, how it works, and so on and so forth. So basically a quick overview of the ARRT tool. All right, so let's get started. First of all, of course, you need to download it, right? And the good part is it's well, that's not the only good part. There's many good parts, but one of the great parts, it's open source. And so you can find it on GitHub. You can see the URL here. Just go there, look into the README, scroll a little bit, look into the general prerequisites, and then you can see to install ARRT. Basically, you need to go to the release page there, download that zip, and unzip it. And in there, you find an exe file, which you can just double click and start on your Windows 10 machine, right? Make sure you have the Visual C++ runtime, because otherwise it won't run, because it's using C++ and a Qt or Qt as a UI framework. That's a cross-platform framework for UI, which runs on many platforms. So the application might not look like your typical Windows 10 application, right? And might look a little bit differently, as you can see here. But the great benefit, again, of Qt is that it's fully cross-platform. Anyway, so what you also need is you need to have the HEVC codec, the H2.56 codec that you need to install on your Windows 10 machine. You can find it on the Windows Store. Also, MS Power User has a nice has a nice blog post basically where they describe how you can install that on your machine. Again, you need that, otherwise you won't see any rendered model, because what Azure Remote Rendering is doing, as you know, they remotely render the model in a data center on these powerful Azure GPU VMs, and then stream back the result as video frames for the left and right eye as a video stream, and that is using exactly that codec. So you need to have that codec installed on your Windows 10 machine, otherwise you won't see a model, right? Another thing you need to do is you need to configure it with your ARR, with your Azure Remote Rendering account. So you can see the account settings here. You need to have the account ID, account key as well. And then you can also configure what kind of data center, what kind of Azure region you want to use. And of course, I've selected West Europe because I'm based in Germany. That's the closest. And so I get the shortest latency. Of course, you can select some other ones depending where you are located. Okay. Another important one is you need to configure the storage account settings for your Azure storage account. So you need to provide the name, the key, and the blob endpoint. The good part is also you can find that very nicely documented here on the ARRT page. There's a user documentation, and I actually tell you exactly where you need to find the stuff that you need to enter into the settings there, right? And so you need to, enter all of that. Once that's done, you could see the status here. So that's a little green here on the left, and you can also see connected, right? So then you know, okay, it's all good to go. And then what you need to do is, of course, you need to upload a model. And Azure Remote Rendering only supports FBX and GLTF and GLB files as an input, as you can see here in the supported source formats section in the Azure Docs. And so you need to have one of these models, right? Well, I guess you might have one from your client or your company, like a CAD converted model, a computer-aided design model. Otherwise, you can always find good ones at Sketchfab. So go to Sketchfab, search for some models you're interested in. Make sure you select that they are downloadable. And so this one here, for example, is the one I'm going to show you. It's a very nice BIM model, BIM, Building Information Management, and Architecture Visualization in the end. It's from ATD London. And like I mentioned, you can download 3D model. And the good part with Sketchfab is every model is available as GLTF. You just click download and then you get the zipped model. Unzip that, and then go into the upload section. Let me close the config panel here. And so you click on the top here on upload. And then first of all, you can select in which kind of blob container you want to upload that, right? So I would select ARR input or output. I have two. Input is for the uploaded ones. Output is for the converted ones. So I would select input. Can choose a file like here, for example. I could choose this folder and then select upload files. And then I would select the one I have downloaded here in my downloads folder, the one from Sketchfab. And make sure that you, in the tool, select the whole folder, right? So not just the model itself, but the whole folder, because these GLTF models typically come with a bunch of subfolders and, you know, all the textures on a subfolder. And of course, you want to upload all of them. So just select the whole folder that you unzip from the download and then choose. And then it would tell you 18 files, of course. Okay, I will just cancel it here because I already did that before. Then it would upload these files to your blob storage. And once that is done, you will see the progress here in the status section. Once that's done, you click on convert. And then you select a new conversion. So I can just give it a name like demo conf free, for example. I then would select my input model, right? So go in here. Let's say I just select this one. Input root director is already selected, and then I would select the output. Like I mentioned, I have two containers here. I have a dedicated one for output, so I would select converted. I can also generate a new folder here. So let's say demo conf free, and then it would select that folder, right? Click OK, and then it's all configured. You could also do much more in detail configuration here. We won't go into the details what all of these properties mean, but if you look into the Azure docs of Azure Remote Rendering, you can find all of that nicely documented. And so once you selected that, you just click Start Conversion, and then you will see the status on the top here, like, you know, what kind of conversion it's ongoing. And once it's done, you see completed. Also, there's a little progress bar on the top here, and you can also open the logs here where you could also see the progress and other logging information, right? All right, so basically, once you're done with that, I'm just going to unload the model so that I can show you the full progress with rendering. So once you converted the model, you need to start an Azure Remote Rendering session, first of all, because you need to spin up the VM and the data center with the Remote Rendering engine, right? And so you would see that on the top here, there's the session status. I'm already connected, but what you would see is, of course, a little bit different window dialog here. It would say start session instead of stop session. So you can configure how long the session is going to run. You will see once it's running how much is remaining also here. And then you can also say if it should auto extend the session and so on and so forth, right? So, you know, you need to start a session. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the remotely rendered model, of course, right? And so then you can select where you want to load the model from. You can also use a SES URL if you just want to have a dedicated model, or you can browse your storage container. Again, I have two ones here for the output. I use this one. You know, can go into all my different folders here, and then I would select ARRT asset, click load, or just double click on this one, and then it would load my model. And you can see the progress of the model loading in a little progress bar at the bottom, and there we are. And the cool part, it will also remember where I left it off with the camera settings. And so with the camera, you can actually rotate it. If you hold the right mouse button down, you can rotate, and you can move the camera forward, backward, left, and right with WSAD. Q and E is for moving up and down. So you can do that here. And then you can actually select different nodes here, different objects in that whole scene, because the amazing part is actually that Azure Remote Rendering maintains the scene hierarchy in the converted model, right? So it will have the same hierarchy. You can also see that on the left-hand pane, and you can also select the nodes there, right? And then on this page, on this tab, I would say, you can see also that all the different materials. And so I can select the material here and then change the properties. And the cool part is I can also select one directly if I click on it. So if I click on the punching bag, you will see red bag selected here. By the way, sometimes the camera is moving slow. If you hold the shift button down, it moves 10 times faster. Also, you can configure the general speed and the config sections, as well as the field of view of the camera, right? And so let's look into the bunching back here. I'll change the materials. We have it selected. It will also, if I click on it in the scene, it will select the right material for me, red back. So let's make it actually a purple back. Click OK. So we change the color. And also let's maybe make it a little bit more the plastic looking, kind of the shiny, you know, kind of property you would actually see with a punching bag, I would assume. So let's increase the metallicness. Let's go with 0.8. You could also, of course, change it here, right? Oh, it's still rough, so we need to reduce the roughness. Let's do 0.2 or whatever. It looks actually pretty good. As you can see, we have some nice metallic reflection here, so it looks like a candy kind of punching bag, or a very highly polished punching bag, right? And yeah, so you can change all of that, and the awesome part, it will be safe, basically. You can also change the flex here, right? And do a lot of other things, and can basically see the model and, you know, change the model properties and material properties, and have it and see it here as it will look like if you then later on render it on the HoloLens too, right? And that's pretty exciting. And it's a great tool addition, and will be super useful, of course. Well, that's pretty much it, what I wanted to show you in this video. I hope that made sense and you enjoyed it, and I hope you still stay safe. Take care, and hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye.